At the time you guys are watching this video, the Patriots are currently 3-11 in 4th place in the NFC East. That is one of the worst records the Patriots have had in decades, and obviously the worst in the Bill Belichick era to this point. The future of the Patriots organization is definitely up in the air for a lot of reasons. Nobody is really sure what's going to happen to Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time. And obviously with the quarterback position, it's looking more and more likely every day that Mac Jones will be off the team next year. Now, most of you probably didn't follow me during the 2021 NFL draft, but I was never really a person that was huge on Mac Jones in the first place. But I can't sit here and deny the fact that the Patriots have failed this guy in multiple ways than one. But we will talk about that later on in the video. If you're a fan of sports, you know that dynasties, while they are long, at some point, they always end. You look at a few examples, specifically in basketball, you have the Showtime Lakers, you have the Bad Boy Pistons, you have the Jordan Bulls, and now as of more recently, you have the Golden State Warriors, who are going through a bit of a rough stretch at this point in the NBA season. Then you take a look at some of the best football dynasties of all time. You have the Packers in the 60s, the Steelers in the 70s, and the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. Then you come to the 2000s, and then on with the New England Patriots. The dynasty that will go down as one of the best dynasties of all time. 6 Super Bowls in that time span, tied for the first most in the NFL next to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will go down as one of the best teams of all time overall. But as I said before, dynasties are always meant to end. And when Tom Brady left in 2020, that marked the end of the Patriots dynasty as it is. From then on out, the Patriots will be a bit of an up and down team, but eventually they would come up and they would come crashing down hard, and I mean very hard. During the 2020 offseason for the Patriots, there were a lot of questions on who was going to be starting quarterback for the Patriots moving forward. They did have Brian Hoyer, who was a kind of a journeyman to that point, and they also had Jarrett Stidham, who was a rookie in 2019. But those two guys were not looking to be starting the option for the Patriots, so they were probably not going to be the starters. However, they would bring in an unlikely guy in Cam Newton in 2020. The guy with the most unique play style and the most unique personality was going to play for Bill Belichick. Not too many people knew how their personalities were going to mix, but we will find out. Well, it would be kind of questionable. So now the Patriots brought in Cam Newton, and he was going to be a quarterback for the Patriots during the 2020 season. But it wouldn't end too well. Cam Newton had a long and great career. It was pretty clear during that time with the Patriots in 2020 that he was no longer the same Super Cam Newton that he once was. Cam Newton had 12 touchdowns on the ground in 2020, but it was clear from a passing perspective that Cam Newton was not the same guy he once was, and a lot of that might have to do with the fact that his shoulder was pretty much a cooked product to that point. Newton was in no way a horrible quarterback during the time of the Patriots in 2020, but as I said, his best days were behind him and he was not that guy anymore. But consider this guy once again had no talent around him. Pretty sure Patriots fans and any other fan knows that the Patriots and not helping their quarterbacks go far and beyond. Putting it into a perspective on how bad the receiving core was for the Patriots that year, here it is. They had Jacoby Myers as their leading receiver with over 59 receptions, 700 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Demir Bird, 47 receptions, 600 yards, 1 touchdown. James White was their third best receiver as a running back, 300 yards, 49 receptions, 1 touchdown. Julian Edelman, who only played 6 games, 300 yards, 0 touchdowns. First round bust in N'Keal Harry, 300 yards, 33 receptions, 2 touchdowns. To top it off, Ryan Izzo, 199 yards, 13 receptions, 0 yards. So along with the fact that the Patriots had no talent around Cam Newton, and also along with the fact that Cam Newton was no longer the starting quarterback he once was, he was basically a cooked product, you basically just made a recipe for disaster for your team. A guy out of his prime and no talent. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea to begin with. So now going into the 2021 NFL draft, the Patriots were going to have to make a change to their team, and quarterback became one of the hot topics coming into the draft. Justin Fields and Mac Jones were all names that were floating around for the Patriots. Eventually, the Bears would trade up with the Giants to get the 10th overall pick, and they would select Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. So now another quarterback option after Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Trey Lance were all off the board was now gone. But I guess it worked out pretty well for them because 15th overall in the 2021 NFL Draft, Mac Jones out of Alabama would fall right into their hand. Now, Mac Jones, in my opinion, was Bill Belichick's type of quarterback. He wasn't a very flashy quarterback. He was your traditional pocket passer, and he was a really good passer at that. He could maneuver in the pocket pretty well and make plays from the pocket. He didn't have to necessarily scramble out of the pocket and make plays. Like I said, he was your traditional quarterback, basically in a way, the Tom Brady prototype that Bill Belichick liked. Not a guy who's going to be mobile and use his legs a lot. He's going to be a guy that uses his arms and make plays all the time. Mac Jones' rookie year would be very productive, despite the fact that once again the Patriots didn't put a lot of help around him. Now, fortunately for Mac Jones, he was led by a good running game by his team with Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. He once again didn't have the most of help during his time to Patriots either. Now, the Patriots would add two offseason additions in Hunter Henry and also Giannu Smith, two tight ends for some reason that they paid big money for. I'm not exactly sure why. So brought in former 49ers receiver Kendrick Bourne and the former Eagles receiver Nelson Aguilar. But Mac Jones will make the best of his receivers in his rookie year, throw for over 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Mac Jones built a really good connection with Jacoby Myers, who had over 800 yards and 2 touchdowns during the year. But he also had a connection with Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry as well. So not the best receiving core when you look at it from a name perspective and overall talent-wise, but Mac Jones made it work. The Patriots would go to the playoffs that year as they finished 10-7 in the regular season. Their defense played a huge part in that, as they had a top 5 defense that year as well, led by Matthew Judon, J.C. Jackson, and a few other guys. Fortunately, the Patriots would get blown out by the Buffalo Bills in the wildcard round pretty badly, 17-47 at that. Them now having a great rookie quarterback at the helm, the Patriots look like they were the same Patriots once again. They were back, they had a great defense, and they had a great rookie quarterback at the helm. A lot of people felt like the Patriots were just simply going to be back to the old Patriots as the years went on. Unfortunately, the Patriots would come crashing back to reality, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that team decisions around them would be once again the downfall of this team. After becoming the head coach of the Broncos a few years prior, and then nearly becoming the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts before returning to the Patriots, Josh McDaniels was once again going to take another head coaching job for the Las Vegas Raiders. Daniels to that point had a lot of interviews with a lot of NFL teams, but never got hired. But now he was finally going to be back on his own once again as a head coach. Patriots right now going to have to go out and find a replacement for Josh McDaniels. Now, they could have scoured the entire NFL for offensive assistants, for guys on NFL offenses that have been very productive, right? Instead, the Patriots made one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen them make in team history. They would have Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, the coach who just got fired for running a QB sneak in their own territory, as their two offensive play callers. Talk about setting a quarterback up for failure. Bill Belichick just hired two guys that were his former head coaches instead of going out and actually looking for a guy on another team. Bill Belichick didn't want to hire a guy out of house because that's just what he does. He wanted to hire a guy that was under his tree instead of looking for a new guy. Yes, Bill Belichick, guys. He might have been the greatest head coach of all time, but this was in no doubt, in my mind, one of the worst decisions a head coach could possibly make. Joe Judge, who just led the Giants to one of the worst offenses in the league, was now going to be the quarterback's coach and the offensive assistant. Matt Patricia was also going to be helping him as the offensive line head coach and the senior advisor. So put this into perspective, Joe Judge, a guy who ran a quarterback sneak in his own territory, was going to be a play caller for the Patriots. Matt Patricia, who was a defensive-minded coach, was now going to be the offensive play caller for the team as well. What was Bill Belichick thinking? What was going on in his head? Exit for the Patriots is going to be ironic because Daniel Jones, who had a great rookie year with the Patriots and then got Joe Judge as head coach, was then ruined by Joe Judge himself. Along with Bill Belichick, you would find out that this would not be the only Jones quarterback that Joe Judge ruined. Before we go any further though, let's talk about the Patriots 2022 NFL Draft. With their first round pick, the Patriots would take Cole Strange, and what was a huge reach in the NFL Draft at the time. And I said at the time when, for the most part, it still looks like a huge reach right now. Strange didn't have too good of a rookie year, and he hasn't been too good this year as well. Patriots would also take Tyquan Thornton in the second round as well. But Tyquan Thornton has missed some time due to injury, and he has not been a productive part of this team. By the way, they took him over George Pickens, which you might debate that because George Pickens has been a bit of a head case so far with the Steelers. So debatable, but still very questionable. They would also take over Alec Pierce even, who's been a very productive receiver for the Colts as well. As an early second round pick, Tyquan Thornton only has around 300 yards and 2 touchdowns on his career to this point. So once again, failing to put decent receivers around Mac Jones. But wait, they would put a receiver around him before that. It was Devontae Parker. They traded a 5th round pick for this dude. And yeah, Devontae Parker had won a good season with the Dolphins. He regressed, had some injuries, and the Patriots took a shot on him. The guy who was basically a first round bust to this point. They took a shot on him. It wouldn't work out though. 2022 season for the Patriots was absolutely abysmal. Mac Jones was injured, and he also regressed a tremendous amount. Just like anybody expected, when you have awful play callers, and then once again, not too good of a receiving core around Mac Jones. Once again, Jacoby Myers was once again Mac Jones' favorite target. 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. The rest of the guys like Devontae Parker, Hunter Henry, and Kendrick Bourne had really no effect on this team in a big way. The rest of the guys I just named had no more than 539 receiving yards. So you once again failed to add another receiver around Mac Jones that's going to help him in a big way. And then you put 2 of the worst play callers imaginable and get them to help Mac Jones. Or should I say make him worse? Yeah, Bill Belichick. Great coaching and great team building here. You had the chance to go out and replace Josh McDaniels with another great play caller, another great offensive assistant on another team. Instead, you didn't want to go out of the house and get a coach, so you get Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, and look how it turns out. Through a rookie year with so much potential, Mac Jones had now passed for under 3,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. I want to put this in a bit of a perspective. Remember when I said earlier that this would not be the first quarterback last name Jones that Joe Judge had ruined? Take a look at this. Despite the criticisms around Daniel Jones in 2019, he passed for over 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions in 2019. So he showed a lot of potential to be maybe a great quarterback then. But then in 2020, ironically under Joe Judge as the head coach at that, Daniel Jones would regress a huge amount. He would pass for below 3,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. So you now had 2 quarterbacks that worked under Joe Judge that had now regressed in their sophomore year. Not only did they have a guy in Joe Judge that was there to ruin them in the process, you also had their GMs who didn't make anything better. You had Bill Belichick, who was the GM of the Patriots, that failed around Mac Jones, and then you have Dave Gettleman, who also failed around Daniel Jones. That comparison might seem odd, but when you say they both worked around Joe Judge, it might make a little bit of sense. Patriots would finish the season 8-9. Pretty disappointing for everything that happened during Mac Jones' rookie year with a lot of promise. But for the first time, Mac Jones was sorta gonna get some help. They brought in Bill O'Brien, who worked with Mac Jones at Alabama, and he was with the Patriots previously. Mac was now gonna get a head coach that he was used to, and he was finally gonna get a head coach that he could work with and knew pretty personally. But the Patriots, while they added a new offensive coordinator, they would do some dumb things that I would question still to this day. Jacoby Myers was one of Mac Jones' favorite targets during his first 2 years of his career. Instead of extending Jacoby Myers and rewarding him for what he's done with Mac Jones, the Patriots let him walk and he signs with the Las Vegas Raiders. But don't worry, Bill Belichick always had something up his sleeve, and he would replace him with who? Juju Smith-Schuster, by the way. That's who they gave a new contract to. They signed him to a 3-year, $33 million contract. The same money you could have used to bring back Jacoby Myers, the same guy who in his last few years with the team was very and much more productive than Juju. Prior to Jacoby Myers' first game against the Patriots, Bill Belichick would be asked why did he bring back Jacoby Myers. Belichick would state, a lot of guys leave and change teams in free agency, but Jacoby Myers looked like he looked here. Reporter would then ask, so why was he more of a priority? He would then say he was a priority. We talked to him. The reporter would then say, were you close to doing a deal? Bill Belichick would say, relatively, yes, but free agency is free agency. Jacoby Myers would comment on the Juju signing too, saying, cold world. Basically commented on the fact that they basically just replaced him with Juju. During his time with the Patriots, he drafted 7 receivers in the first 4 rounds of the NFL draft, and none of them worked out. But the one time Bill Belichick does get one right, he lets him walk in free agency. Like, this is not the first time a GM was also a head coach and he failed. We saw it with, ironically, Bill O'Brien, and he got fired the first season he was made the GM. Bill Belichick was essentially doing the same thing, and look how it worked out. It hasn't worked too good to this point. Constant mismanagement of the team, constantly failure to build around your rookie quarterback, and look how it turned out. If Bill Belichick didn't have 6 rings, this guy would have been fired a long time ago. Look at the drafts and look at the free agencies for Bill Belichick during his time at Patriots over the 2010s. I mean, he maybe made 1 or 2 good moves every year, but other than that, it's not impressive at all. A lot of people don't want to slander Bill Belichick because he has done so much good as a head coach, but times have changed now, and since Tom Brady has left, Bill Belichick has failed to evolve and failed to get better with this team. Like, I'm so confused to why a guy who's had so much experience and success is failing to build a team the right way. You would think a guy who's won 6 rings, seen all the success stories, would know how to build a team, but he doesn't. Even in the Tom Brady era, Bill Belichick was doing stuff like this. However, when you have Tom Brady, the best quarterback of all time, a lot of that stuff will be masked, and nobody will see it until Tom Brady's finally gone, and we're seeing it now. And then, like I said earlier, it was rumored to be that he was one of the main reasons why Tom Brady didn't come back to the Patriots, so that only adds insult to injury to already a tarnished record since Tom Brady has left the Patriots. I've said in the past that I was never a huge fan of Mac Jones coming to the 2021 NFL Draft, but you can't sit here and tell me that this team and management, including Bill Belichick, have not done everything to fail Mac Jones. He had a great rookie year, and then they proceeded to tear everything down and ruin it for him, not building around him, bringing in very bad coaching staff to basically mess up his development. Yes, that ruined Mac Jones, and that ruined his confidence. Patriots and the Patriots fans are now seeing how mediocrity feels, and honestly, they kind of deserve this. They were kind of a cocky fan base, but I'm letting my biases get in the way real quick. But this is something that every team is going to have to feel at some point. Mediocrity and a huge period of being a terrible team. The Patriots are now going through it. The future of Bill Belichick is now unsure right now. There's rumors that he's going to leave the team after this season, but right now those rumors haven't been cleared up to this point. I have heard from an official source that is true, but another source has said to this point there is no decision made to this point. Now, in my opinion, if Bill Belichick does not get fired, I think he can stay the head coach, but he needs to no longer have a role as a GM for the team, as he has done nothing positive as a GM for this team in years to this point. He cannot go into another year where they draft a quarterback like Caleb Williams or Drake May and then ruin them because of dumb decisions. It's going to be a long and hard road back for the Patriots, but we'll see how it ends for them and if they eventually can get back on their feet. Because as of right now, the Patriots look like more of a bigger disaster than what happened at the Boston Tea Party. Maybe that was harsh, but maybe it was warranted. But anyways, that's a wrap for this video. Make sure if you haven't yet, you subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon for future football content. Also, if you haven't yet, follow me on all social medias down below in the description. I have Instagram, I have TikTok, I have X, Twitter, whatever you want to, call it. If you want updates for videos, if you want to just chat with me, I do post all the time. I'm kind of a Twitter addict. I'm not gonna lie. I just like to communicate with people. But anyways, if you want to chat with me, you can hit me up on that. If you got video ideas, you can hit me up on that. If you ever want to have any suggestions for me, like for feedback on the videos, you can hit me up on that in the future as well. But anyways, that's gonna do it. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.